Hello, and welcome back to Leslie and Lily, the marketing podcast for business owners as they are marketing themselves through the digital sphere. My name is Leslie, owner of Lily Rose DMA. All right, guys, so this week on the Leslie and Lily podcast, we have the wife, mother, and multi business owner, Venus Hall. How are you, Venus?
Hi, how are you, Leslie? I am great. Thank you so much for having me on your platform.
Thank you for being on the show. I am really excited for you to be able to come on here, talk about your business, and maybe share some things that you have been doing to help market so people can say, hey, I'm just like her. So I'm going to do some of the same things she is. So, can you tell us a bit more about who you are and about your business?
Sure. As you said, my name is Venus McCall. I am a wife, a mother, a multi-business owner. I call myself a womanpreneur, and I am also one of the first women to ever run and win city council in the town that I live in. So yes, I am just like you guys out there. I know that a lot of women identify with me in so many ways, and I am just blessed to be able to be here.
Well, we're so happy that you're on the show today. I mean, I understand that like women, like we wear multiple hats, but especially when you're a mom, you have to be absolutely everything for your kids and then still trying to be able to go out and make sure that you have a career of your own. It can be a juggling act sometimes. And you decided that you also wanted to be a part of your city council as well. So you're doing a lot, ma'am,
It's a
a
lot.
lot.
Somebody got to do it. Somebody has to do it.
Yes. So you are a multi-business owner. What are some of the businesses that you own?
Okay, so my first baby, I own a hair salon here in Statesboro, Georgia. It's called the Glam Bar Salon. I have
Okay.
actually been an entrepreneur doing hair for the last 20 years. But when COVID happened, I decided that although I love being a hairstylist, that was not my passion.
Yeah.
And so when COVID happened and the world shut down, I was allowed to take the time to think about what I really wanted to do. And so I always has have had a passion for women. You know, I've dealt with women for so long, so I'm passionate about women. And I thought that I was supposed to tap into being a wife. So I started off being a wife coach. And I love being a wife coach. I'm still a wife coach. But I was really looking for something, and being a wife coach didn't hit it on a
Mm.
nail. Um, and so I was like, Venus, yes, you're a wife, yes, you're a mom, but you're so much more than that.
Yes.
I wasn't reaching everybody being just a wife coach. I was still leaving a lot of women on the table that I wanted to help. And so I wound up doing some coaching with somebody to try to figure out what my purpose was or what
Mm.
was I supposed to be doing. And I kept hearing, do what you love, do what you know. And I know business.
Mhm.
And I know there are a lot of women out there who have so many talents and they're out there working, but they're not considering themselves business owners. So I set out to be a business development coach. And on my business development journey, I help women either start a business, take their habit and turn it into a business, or just scale their business to the next level.
So you did you always want to get into business or like were you a little girl and you were just like, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. That's what I'm gonna do. Or where did you go to school for it? Or how is that? How did that happen? Tell us your story.
Okay, so funny story. Anybody in my family would tell you that when I was younger, I always had a cash register around me. So, as a young girl, don't judge me, y'all. I thought that I was going to be a cashier, right? That was my dream. I wanted to work with the money. And I did. I worked at a supermarket and I also worked at a bank. But the 40-year-old in me now looks back at that and says, I just know that I wanted to get to the money. I
Mm.
knew that that was my job. So, no, I didn't wanna be in business. I just I wanted to be a cashier, y'all. I don't know. But doing hair was something that I knew how to do. I've been doing it literally since I was about 18 or 19 years old.
Mm,
And so that business just stuck with me because I had two children as a single parent and I had to take care of my children.
mm.
And so I just jumped into it. And then years down the line, figured out about structuring it, LLCs, bank account, business credit, and things like that. So I literally threw myself into the business world. And I've been self taught because I have not taken any college courses or anything like that
Mm.
to be a business owner. This is all real life experiences.
I love that you said that because I feel like that can kind of leave some people wondering if they should go for their dreams because they say, it's one thing if I am working in this type of business, but if I'm talking about being a business coach or different things like that, people wanna know what are your references, basically. And so
Mhm.
you have to understand that if you bet on you, like, there's so many courses online that you can take, it's so many self-study things that you can do, and you can still build those skills to give you the knowledge that you need to take your business and your career to another level as well.
I
Um
totally agree.
that's what happened with me when it came to marketing. So, my background was in music and it was in teaching, and I was looking for something else to do. And so, while I was still working my 9 to 5 job, I was like, "Oh, I can take courses online for marketing." And I technically had already been marketing in a previous job because I had to recruit and bring people in and help them with their marketing things. And that's what led me into actually like taking the courses and doing the things as well. And now I have a business out of it. And now I'm able to network with other female entrepreneurs, AA, and we
Hey.
are able to help people and bring our knowledge and our experiences so that one, people don't make the same mistakes we did in the beginning. And also, so that people hopefully you can see yourself in our journey and you can say, I can do it as well. So, when it comes to your business side of coaching, the business coaching, what are some commonly asked questions that people come to you with?
They really range. Dealing with women, you get a different person every time. But it's how do I start a business, or
Mm.
how do I build the business credit, or how do I go about, I'm getting tongue tied, strategically planning for a project. So I literally help women at whatever phase they are in their business. And sometimes I just throw things out there like, hey, who's trying to do XYZ?
Mm.
Let me help you with that. And some people are like, man, I have been trying to do this for a long time and I keep getting stumped, Maybe I do need to work with her to get some type of help with these things.
So, if someone is starting a business and they're asking, how do I start an LLC? Do I even need one? What is some advice you would give them?
So I would definitely tell them that yes, you do need to structure your business. And I will ask them what type of business are they starting.
Mm.
I literally talk to so many people and they're trying to start these businesses that they don't have any passion for. They don't have any skills at it. But they just think that I'll make money if I start a vending machine. And I'm just throwing that out there.
Right.
Um, but if you don't have that background or you don't have a passion for it, 9 times out of 10, your business can fail. I try to
Mhm.
get women to sit back and realize that we do a lot of things, we wear a lot of different hats.
Right.
What are you passionate about? What do you love to do? What are you doing on a daily basis that you can do with your eyes closed? Let's start a business from that. You know,
Yes.
if you're it could be whatever. Like me, I was running a business. I never thought that I would be teaching people how to structure their business, but it's something that I literally can do with my eyes closed, and I love to do it. So when I have those slow months or those slow days, my passion for helping women, it keeps me going. So, first step for me when I talk to women is like, what are you passionate about? What
Mhm.
do you love to do? And then what experience do you have in that field? If you're a mom and you cook all the time and that's where your passion is, then let's monetize off you cooking. Like, we're
Yes.
not starting a vending machine. If you know how to cook and you love to cook, let's do that, you know? And then people are like, man, I never even thought about starting a business doing that. This is just something that I do for my family. I'm like, yeah, girl, let's
But you
do it.
love it.
But you
But you
love
love it. And, just to piggyback off of what you said, in business, you're going to have fat months and lean months. You're going to have periods where you're just killing it, like everyone knows you, they love you, and then you're going to have periods where you feel like you're chasing customers and clients. You're like, wait, what happened? Like I thought that we were going to be okay. And so, if you don't have a true enjoyment around what you're doing, if you don't have that passion, then it is easy for it to taper off and for you not to do anything. And it's also easy for you to become stagnant. Like sometimes there's so much to do that you do nothing because you're like, I
Mhm.
am not sure where to start. And I know for me, what has always helped me is okay, like let's make a list of what we need to do. And then from this list, we can make a plan. And sometimes on the list, I will add basic things like get up, go take a
Do it.
shower, those things, because it tricks my mind into believing that I've done more, right?
Mhm.
Because there are times where you're just like, ooh, so much. Where do I start? So when you have people that maybe they know what they want to do and they're passionate about what they want to do, but they're in that stuck phase. What
Mhm.
advice would you give them?
So it's funny, I feel like you're living in my head. I literally just put a post up on social media yesterday on telling women to strategically plan going forward. I told them
Mhm.
to make a to-do list,
Yes.
prioritize that to-do list, and then plan it out. So if you have 5 things on your to-do list, let's start with what's most important. What needs to be done immediately
Mhm.
and what doesn't? Um, and then take that list and plan it out and don't beat yourself up if you don't complete your list. It's
Yes.
okay. We'll always have tomorrow. But I think with us, we have so much on our plate as women. And I'm speaking for
Mhm.
myself. I have so much on my plate as a woman. Sometimes I do nothing because it's overwhelming. My anxiety
Mhm.
kicks in, procrastination kicks in. So I literally can put something off for 3 weeks that would have took me probably 15 minutes to do, but it's
You're not wrong.
overwhelming. It's overwhelming. So for
Yes.
me, I'm making a plan, I'm writing it out, and I'm doing it. And I'm also not beating myself up for what I don't accomplish because I have accomplished so much. Sometimes we are so what's next? What's next? What's next? We're not sitting in our accomplishments. And when I say we
Mhm.
y'all, I'm talking about me
That
because I
part.
do so much that I don't give myself enough credit. I'm always like, what's next? What's next? Beating myself up. You got to do more. You got to do better. This
Mhm.
Instagram person is doing this. This person on TikTok has this many followers. I got to go. No, sit in your own accomplishments and take in what you did because that's where the drive is going to come from. That's what's going to keep you going. So I'm talking to myself, y'all. If nobody else going to get this, it don't even matter because I got it.
Listen, you better preach to this choir. You better let me know. Yes. And I mean, there's so much that we could break down in what you just said because the truth is either people put too much on their list and they get upset because they weren't able to accomplish 50 things in one day because they're not superhuman, or they put, a good amount on their list, but what's on there, they have some really big things that take time. And so it's like, oh, well, of course, this is a half day thing. Of course, you're not going to be able to finish the, four other things on your list because you still have to live. You still have to feed yourself. If you are a parent, if you have a partner, if there's anything going on with your family and there's a birthday party, or you have to go pick somebody up from the hospital or drop them off or go visit, like it's life. Life keeps
Life be
lifing,
life and life be
right?
life.
So giving yourself that grace is super important. But also to say, to go back to what I said earlier, for me, I'm the type of person that I like to slowly get into my day, right? So, yes, I know the most important thing that needs to be done, but that can cause anxiety for me. So, having small little wins, and maybe I did something that wasn't even on the list. I put that on my list and check it off. Ha ha,
Me too.
accomplished that as
Me
well,
too.
right?
I am
So,
notorious for doing that.
right, because it makes you feel better and it gives you that confidence so that you can tackle the big thing. Because otherwise, you're in your head and you're just like, like shoulders are up, shallow
Mhm,
breathing, and it's a
mhm.
real thing. And tell me if you have found this with your clients, especially because you've done coaching mainly geared towards women, is we have such programming of not enough,
Mhm,
of comparison,
mhm,
of you should be doing more. And when that happens, it's you're in your head. So to think, well, yeah, I want to do this, but it's kind of basic. And, will anyone really want to hire me or will my business really take off? Have you found that you have people with those insecurities?
every single day.
Mhm.
Literally 75% of my coaching is accountability, mentorship, um, cheering on, being your best friend, being by your side, saying, "Girl, you can do this. No, no, no. Let's take that out of the
Yes.
equation." I mean, literally 75% of my job is that because as women, we have so many other things around us that looks glittery, they're gold, they're shining. We're seeing all of these things, and we feel like, oh, I would never be able to do this,
Mm,
or I won't reach this. That self doubt, that fear,
yes.
fear is easier to be like, nah, it's not going to work. I ain't going to do it. That's it's easier to do that. And I'm that mentor slash coach that's like, no, you can do that. You will do
Yes.
that. Let's do that. And I'm calling you and I'm texting you. Like I have strategy calls, but the people have access to me for 3 weeks after my strategy calls. And I'm in those calls, I'm texting them like, hey girl, what you doing? I ain't see you
Mhm.
post on social media today. What's going on? Have your
Yeah.
goals changed? I hit them. That's my favorite question. Have your goals changed? Because when I ask you that, it kind of makes you be like, no. Well, why you not working on them? What you doing?
Yes.
So 75% of me is being what I needed somebody to be for me. Showing up. I
Yes.
literally believe in my clients until they believe in themselves.
Mm.
I am that coach. I'm like, no. Mm-mm.
You know what? You just brought out a really good point, something that I tell people as well, like when they're not showing up. And this is something that I learned for myself when I'm not showing up. It's like, oh no, I'm fine, or I'm procrastinating, or I'm like, you know what? Procrastination is a secondary thing. There's something else that's going on. And so the question that I've learned to ask is, why do you feel unsafe?
Mm.
What about
Mm.
this is making you feel unsafe that makes you feel like you have to protect yourself through
Mm.
doing nothing, through
Mm.
taking a step back? And so that goes back to some insecurities, right? That
Mhm.
really,
Mhm.
really, oh my God,
Mhm.
it goes back to so many insecurities. And it's like, well, I'm afraid to be seen. I'm afraid that people are going to think that, I'm this type of way and I'm not, or I'm afraid that I will be considered a fraud, or honestly, I just didn't have time to do this and
Mm.
I felt like I should have had time, even though technically I know that I had all this other stuff that I had to
Mm.
do, but because I didn't show up for myself in this way, now I must be a failure. It's just like not giving ourselves credit, but it's
Mhm.
going back to the you naturally, your body is a machine, your brain is a machine, and it
Mhm.
has like so many years, through evolution and humankind found ways to make sure you stay alive, basically. And so it's like danger. So what's happening with anxiety is it's saying there's danger there. You don't feel
Mm,
safe if you go in that direction. If you go
mm,
there, harm could come to you. So
mm,
asking people, why do you feel unsafe doing this? And in the beginning, it's
mm.
like, I don't feel unsafe. I'm fine. Okay, sit with that. Why
Right,
do you feel unsafe?
right.
What about this is making anxiety? Because anxiety is alarm, and
And
alarm
then
comes when you don't feel safe. Go on, sorry.
I'm sorry, so with that question, "Why do you feel unsafe?" comes up to, "Do you really want this?
Mm,
Is this what you really want? Or is
I'm
it one of
sorry.
those things that you feel like you have to have because somebody else has it?"
Mhm.
Like, is this really your purpose?
Right.
Or you chasing somebody else's purpose? So, yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna steal it.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. We're gonna help each other out.
Yes,
So,
I love it.
part of being a business owner is, the day-to-day,
Mhm,
the putting the post up, the behind the scenes stuff that not everybody honestly is built for. Like
mm,
but in the beginning, these are things that you have to do until you can hire somebody to do this. So
correct.
what are some things, just the day-to-day things of running a business that you feel a lot of business owners should know how to do?
For me, what's jumping out is just showing up.
Mhm.
Like, literally, you have to show up for your business every day, especially if you're in a space where it's just you running this business. Because if you don't show up, then your business did not show up for the day. Whether that's posting on social media, whether that's sending out an email blast, whether that's going to place an order or put together an order, whatever that looks like, you literally have to do it every day. And you have to love what you do. You cannot at any point be like, "Oh, I'm tired of this," or I don't want to show up for my business," because you cannot
Mhm.
complain about the results that you get for the work that you don't put in. I'm gonna say that again so y'all can catch it. You cannot complain about the results that you get, I'm sorry, for the work that you don't put in. You
Mhm.
have to put that work in. You never know who's watching and when you're going to get that break. For me, I love to vacation. I'm on vacation right now, but I'm showing up for my job. Me showing up for my business, showing up for this podcast is saying, "Hey, I don't know who's going to watch this. I
Mhm.
could grab one lady from this podcast that needs my help." That's me showing up for my business. You have
Yes.
to show up every day.
Yes, and that's actually a part of marketing. So,
Mhm.
what I think a lot of people don't understand when it comes to marketing is, one, it's confusing, right? Marketing truly is a whole separate job. And if
It
you're
is.
trying to run a business and market full time for your business, it's hectic. Like, I have a marketing agency and it's hard for me to market my own agency. So you have to find ways that you're doing this, because you're working with your clients and you want to make sure their stuff is good, but you also want to make sure people are out there. So, going off of what you said of showing up, it's like, okay, I'm going to start off with 2 posts a week. I consistently put up, every Monday and Friday, or every, I have this up. And so I that's what, not that many a month, it's just like I did this. This is what I'm gonna do so that I have some sort of online presence.
Mhm,
Depending on who your customers are, like, this really gets into knowing who you are, but also knowing who you're going to reach. I've said
mhm,
this many times on the podcast, but it goes deeper than just doing a customer persona and saying, they live in Georgia, they have 2.5 kids, they live in the suburbs and not the city area. It's
mhm,
like, okay, but how old are they? You
mhm,
know, if you know their age range, then you will know what social media platforms they most likely will be on. And
Right.
then that immediately allows you to put those 2 posts on these platforms, and I do not recommend in the beginning going above 2 platforms, especially if you are doing it by yourself because you don't have time. You don't.
Right.
You need to go
Right.
to the platforms that are in the age ranges of your customers and then
Mhm.
just post on there, and that's showing up. Showing up could
Mhm.
be continuing to read more and educate yourself more about your industry. And
Right.
what a lot of people are looking for are answers to questions. So
Mhm.
it's just like, what are the top 10 questions that are always asked? What are the top 20, 30? And they change as technology
All the
changes,
time.
as business changes. So you could do 10 right now, and in 6 months, you have a whole new set. Like
Yep.
there are new policies that have been made
Mhm.
that you have to update and tell people, like what's going on. And what's great and wonderful is you get to do it in your voice because there's
Mhm.
somebody who's going to listen to you over me. You know,
Yep.
there's somebody that like loves the way you speak, loves the way you look. They relate to
Yep.
you more than they could relate to my business, even though my business is the exact same thing. And
Right.
that makes it so that there's still room for everybody. Like, I know I'm on a tangent. I'm gonna say this real quick, then we're gonna
No.
get back. But
No, I
I
love
guess
it.
my big thing that I have learned so far in my life is, I have been fortunate enough to work with people that have just started their business. Like,
Mhm.
they have no money, and,
Mhm.
like, I've done free things. I've done
Mhm.
people that, much cheaper than I normally would. I've done marketing for people that are millionaires, literally.
Okay.
And what I have found is a lot of the people that are millionaires, when you really get to know them and some of the content that they have and that you're marketing, you're like, "Really, you?" You know? And not in a
I'm
mean way,
sorry.
but
Right.
it makes you realize like, "Wow, I have been so hard on myself." Because if this person can be a millionaire, a multimillionaire, if this person can be making, 6, 7 figures, and
Mhm.
they're only at this level, right? And I know I'm here, then I can do it too. Or maybe we're at the same level. It's
Right.
just like, "Oh, it's not as difficult as I thought it would be," because I
Right.
definitely have met some people where I'm like, "Wow, I was worried for nothing." Like, it's about, like, we network, we talk to people. The difference is they put themselves out there more than I did, right?
Mhm.
And so they were
Mhm.
able to get ahead sooner. So,
Mhm.
soapbox moment. But what are you currently doing,
I
to
have a
market
lot.
yourself? Yes.
Okay, so what I'm doing to market myself, I'm heavy in these social media streets.
A.
Um, and let's say it's very hard for me to market because coaching is a new business for me. I have to
Mhm.
always remind myself that although you've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, being a hairstylist and being a coach is totally different. So
Yes.
with the hair salon, people are just coming to me. I don't really advertise my hair salon, but it's
Mhm.
working. It works for itself. I have that longevity. So what I'm doing, I have a social media manager because I realized that I could not do it. Social media is fun for me. I like to scroll and I
Mhm.
like to and I like to repost people things. I'm not so much of putting myself out there. So I realized that very fast that I needed to outsource that. So I do outsource that. Um, and so, yeah, and then marketing, I do a lot of free events to get myself out there. Right now, 2023, I started a new series called Collaboration Over Competition. And so,
Mhm.
what collaboration over competition is me collabing with other women in business. And I do a coffee and conversation, which is a complimentary event that I do every city I go to. So whenever
Mm.
I'm on vacation, because I like to vacation, I said that earlier, I do this coffee and conversations. I'm actually having one this Wednesday. I'm in New Orleans. And so I was coming here for vacation. I was like, you know what? Coffee and conversation. And guess what, guys? That turns this trip into a business trip. So
Hey,
catch
you
that tip.
better write that
Catch
off.
that tip.
Hallelujah.
Right. And I meet women from all over the world. I have people, I put it on Eventbrite, and people sign up. For one, it's a free event. People love FREE. And for two, I put it right in the description. This is for women in business. Come have a cup of coffee with me and let's conversate. And I come, I may give out a nugget or two, but we're sitting there and we're just conversating as women. But I'm grabbing everybody's email. So now you're in my community and now you're going to get my emails. And guess what? My emails are going to bless you so much that you're going to be like, you know what? I want more of her.
Mhm.
I want to talk to her. I want that one-on-one time with her. I want to be in her space. So that's one of my that's a great marketing tip for me, to give a little bit of me to get something back in return. Um, so
So
yeah,
with these, because I'm gonna steal that from you.
do it.
Hey, because Chicago is a great place. With these, are you talking to the establishment beforehand and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna have these people coming," or are you literally just like, "Hey, we're here"?
Hey, what's up? I'm in town.
And do
Yeah,
you
no,
have any sort of like, are you saying we'll be at the back, or how are you letting people know where you are in the restaurant or coffee shop?
so their coffee houses, I do limit the amount because I'm not coming into the coffee house with 20 women. I'm not going to do
Right.
that. But I'm usually by the door. I get there a little bit earlier and I'm like, "Hey, are you here for coffee and conversation? Hey,
Mhm.
are you here for coffee?" I'm asking people like, "Are you here for coffee and conversation? Are you here for coffee and conversation?" And then we get a table and we sit and we have coffee. And I like to refer to myself as a womanpreneur. So it
Mhm.
is for women in business, but if you don't have a business, you still can come. I want to talk to women because we have so much on our plate and we don't take time to unwind. So this is really not a business like, let's come talk about your business. No, we're women. We're just coming and we're networking and we're
Yes.
talking. And a lot of people in these cities are then connecting with each other. I don't live here, but they're like, "Oh, you do this here? I need somebody that do this." You know?
Mhm.
"Oh, let me get your information." So it's really networking.
That part.
Um but I'm benefiting at it. I am also benefiting at a greater cost. But like I said, collaboration over competition is really for me. This year, I'm in my year of um, collaboration and just sisterhood. I'm building
Mhm.
sisterhood.
Yes.
So I'm not so much looking to gain anything from this. It's all about the connecting. And
Yes.
so I'm watering my business right now. I'm in that season.
And I think that that's important. I feel like a lot of women have been groomed to see each other as competition. And I feel like what you're seeing now is a resurgence of community. And I
Mhm.
feel like even though so many terrible things happened because of the pandemic, that's one of the great things that happened afterwards. People were so cut off that they were
Mhm.
like, "No, I need community. Like, I don't even care
Mhm.
about this." And
Mhm.
then you realize that, wow, we have so much in common, or like I
Mhm.
might not need your product or service, but I know somebody else who does, or
Mhm.
hey girl, I'm looking for some new friends. I'm in a different phase of my
Mhm.
life. You know,
Mhm.
I still have other people I grew up with, or maybe it's like, actually, I went to a new city. I'm doing these things. So looking for people are looking for community, and they're
Mhm.
looking to just like be seen and be heard. And what you're talking about with your coffee and conversation will definitely, be classified into the networking portion. But every single business owner that I've brought on this show, they list networking. They're just like, "Oh,
Mhm.
well, I knew this person," or even with your hair salon, it's like it's word of mouth. People are telling people how great you are.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
there that's a form of networking, and it's like
Yep.
now people are coming into your business, and you have
Yep.
the stable business that has been helping you out for years and years, which has been which now allows you to go and create new businesses and water them so that they're getting off
Mhm.
the ground, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Well,
try it out. Let me know how it works.
oh, I
And so
will.
I want to tell you this. So since you are in Chicago and that's your hometown, if I was you, I would look at some like business coffee houses that are not doing so good who need exposure. Go to
Mhm.
them and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this idea. Could you sponsor a cup of coffee for everybody that comes in? I'm bringing this amount of women to your business." And then that way you're supplying the coffee, and then that coffee house is getting the exposure that it needs.
Yes. You see? You can tell she's
Yeah.
been in business.
I
Yes.
listen, Imma work it. I'm gonna
A.
work.
And this is why she's a business coach. Look at that. You see that? A. All
Yes.
right. So you say that you stay on social media. Where can people find you?
I am on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. So TikTok is at underscore Venus Mac Hall.
Mm.
And on Facebook and Instagram is just Venus Mac Hall. My website is www.venusmchall.com. And if y'all didn't catch that marketing tip, make sure when you are putting yourself out there that everybody can find you. If you forget it, just remember my name and you'll find me.
She said, "Remember my name." Look at that.
Remember my
Okay,
name.
listen, listen. I know her. Okay, Miss Hall. All right. You better let us know. Okay. Well, all of her information will be in the show notes as well. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe on all of the social media platforms.
Yay.
And make sure that you guys tune in next week, where I will have another female entrepreneur on here sharing her story, giving marketing tips. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.